First up, and the clique you claim was sad. You claim to be a player, but your wife. Hi, hello, it's me. Hi guys, happy Easter. Happy Easter Saturday. I hope y'all remember when Nicki Minaj said, "Do we dress every day like it's Easter Sunday?" So tomorrow it's your turn to show us Easter Sunday how y'all dress. Anyway, you'll see me on your screens because today it's Small House Saga episode 14. I know I'm not lost this time. Episode 14, right? Munedwana sitishamti Vimbai. So Vimbai says she was in those confession groups. You know my groups say about Facebook to my groups to right? So no my groups mangari. And it just so happened Kuti admin posted about a guy who's about 30 years old, 29, 30 years old. He's looking for a go angari more age range. Present parents. Anyway, so she saw this guy was looking for someone her age, and he was in the age range and she approached admin. She's like, admin, listen, I want this guy, can you hook me up? And then admin said, listen, send your pictures. And then admin also did the same. She saw the pictures of the guy. She was like, okay, cool, he's good. And then over Tango Tarapa phone, and they dated for 6 months over the phone. Of course, this guy was staying in Shane and Vimbaiwedo was staying in Kwekwe, right? So they were dating for 6 months, and this guy was about to turn 30, or he had already turned 30 at that time, but he was saying, listen, I'm 30 and Zerarandawi, I now need something serious, something stable, you know what I mean? So yeah, I really need Munekto Setlanaye and and stuff like that. And she was like, listen, I'm also tired of the streets and whatnot, so yeah, let's make it happen. They dated for 6 months as Nombonana, and then one particular time this guy says, listen, I now want to come see you kukwekwe. And mind you, at that time she says she was in lower 6. Listen, she was in lower 6, guys. Yeah, because lower until lower munagati lower is lower 6, right? Anyway, so she was in lower 6, and it was on a Tuesday. Listen, so it was on a Tuesday, and she lied to Kuchikorozi, listen, I can't come Kuchikoro and stuff like that, so that she can go see him. And her man came. He was driving a baby Quantum. Okay, he was driving a baby Quantum, and since it was a Tuesday, she remembers because she recalls Vachita terrific Tuesday pizzas. So he got my pizza, my drinks, and they were just chilling in the car, just chilling, nothing. Yeah. And then Obamigra, my juice bottle, my necklace, and a matching t-shirt, and he gave her money $40. And then the next day she went to school, my pizza, and she was just bragging to her friends like, yo, mommy, and mommy, and thank you to mommy, and and ladies are just like, oh wow, because you're like, mommy and ladies, you know how it goes. So after she met the guy in person, and like, you know how it goes, love, in person, and the attraction was there, like for real. I know I had not given the guy a name. Let's call him Mike for now. So Mike had told Vimbai Kuti, listen, Ndineta chemical engineering, so obviously Shandra Masango, I'm sure y'all know chemical engineering, y'all be testing shit and stuff like that. So obviously mnonge muri kuma sites mangwaye, you know what I mean? Nami, so yeah, that's what he said he does. He's doing chemical engineering. So masango network. So she was so used to just not talking to him pese, and she was so used to not calling him pese because of the type of job that he does. But we'll talk about that job Pambeda Sagabati say this point, okay? One day, Vimbai was in class, so she saw her phone lighting up. Okay, someone's definitely trying to call, and she realizes it's a WhatsApp call. But she thought it was Bay, but it was actually not Bay. It was an unknown number, like a number she did not recognize, an unsaved number, phone Maki. And she's just like, let me just pick it up. And she's like, hello. And this lady, hi, and Vimbai, and Vimbai is like, yeah, Andini. And then this lady just went straight to the point. She's like, listen, but inzoika immatoma inini ndikuona kuti muruda nemurume wangu ndaona machati mphone, and I want you to know this man has 2 kids mombe wachatori grade 1, okay? So ndangokufonera kuti ndikudza kuti listen, whatever y'all doing itamchizi kuti kuna my girl. And she's like, no, I didn't know, he never told me he has a wife and stuff like that. And she's like, listen girl, I don't know, inini ndangonikokudza kuti I know you there, and I want you to know that I am here too, and he's got 2 kids to support as well, okay? So she was shocked, she was flabbergasted. She's like, I'm in disbelief, she's like, what the hell? And she calls the man fronting, like the man is fronting at that time. He's like, Amira, he's just trying to be avoidant, and she's crying. She's like, oh my gosh, Mike, you didn't tell me. And Mike is like, listen, baby girl, that's not my wife. Let me tell you what happened. I just don't body wife as young. That one's my baby mama. Yo. What happened was, I was with this lady, hey, and we had kids. Of course, we do have kids, and I'm not gonna front on that. But listen, as you know, Shanda Kumasang and stuff like that, and I just come home unannounced and shit like that. So what happened was, pane musona ngoshika padeni ndikasvika mumbedha medu, in our blankets, in our bedroom, in our matrimonial bedroom and stuff like that, with another man, and that's when things just so kutokutsvaga kwaita, that's literally her just trying to break us, baby. Don't let the devil win, katina matire relationship, don't let the devil win. And she's like, are you for real? And it's like, yeah babes, like through I got you. And she's like, okay. So mind you, at this time she's like, listen, I was just not exposed enough, because remember I was bragging on my friends like, listen, mommy got me $40 and stuff like that. So I didn't have that much exposure. The naivety and the exposure, lack of exposure, was just. So she didn't even think about it, but still munhu yawana sei number dzangu chichikanzi no itombloka ndozvaanoita ningada kutotiparadza ndozvaatofonera izvozvo, and akatombloka said kuno kuitombloka once. That call was 2 hours long, and he was just nyengeraring me like, baby, don't let the devil win, ndozvaanotoda baby mama, don't let her win chichichi. And she was just like, you know what, it's okay baby, I got you. Anyway, vimbai some months later, anyway, okay, akazombloka, right? Some months later, Vimbai was supposed to go to Harare. Like, she really had to go, you understand? And she was like, listen, let me just go earlier. Like, I'm going the day earlier, but I'm actually going to Blues, because at that time the boyfriend Mike was in Blues. So she was like, let me go see Mike, and then mangwana ndozotichagwa Harare kwandodera ndofana kutoenda. Then she went there and vanorara ku Flame Lily, right? The Flame Lily Inn, right? It's an inn, right? I know it in. So they went to Flame Lily, they slept there, and they got intimate, of course. So the guy went to bath and stuff, and then Amaneru, like some time later on, the guy slept, and she couldn't touch her phone because she had people that she was talking to, and she didn't want it's not what it looks like guys to start texting. So she was just not on her phone. And then she was like, let me just grab my man's phone because I want to see Gutiji Zangwai. She takes the phone and she's seeing Zitaramai Guru, like waka save woman's because the name starts with the G. And she's like, and then too many missed calls, and then she's like, holla, wait a minute, I know this number. And then she takes her phone because she had blocked her, remember. She's looking at the number, she's like, why is she calling my man? You know what I mean? So she's texting her like, sorry, you are disturbing us. I see you trying to call my man, he's busy, you're disturbing us, like, what's your deal? And then Gulez is like, holla, wait a minute, what you mean, Shkanzi? You keep calling my man, what you want, girl? Like, he told me like your story, so what you want? And she's like, listen, can you give me your location? And she says, no, sweetie, we are somewhere in Africa, so don't worry about it. And she even went as far as to take her phone and take a selfie, like right next to the man. She says she covered her face, and about a selfie about my growth, like I told you, we busy. So she just went to sleep. She didn't want to wake Gudi Mike right? He's big Mike at this point already. So and then after some time, Big Mike Obama, his phone is blowing up. It's that lady. The wife is blowing up his phone, you know what I mean? And he's touching the phone, told what he ended up my picture of 20 family, that type of thing. And it's like, what's going on? And then he's asking Vimbai, what happened? And then she's like, listen, she was really disturbing us, and I just wanted to put her in a place, what. And the why were you doing this? Now about the boss my boss is saying I'm supposed to be working that boss phone. She later found out this guy was lying. That was definitely his wife. And I know to tell our team, the guy just stormed out of the house, and just before he stormed out, anga kumurambidza ubuda kuti like usabude, because she didn't have Maria transport yanga poa kumbe kunziende kwarari yakaendesa ublo yakatublo ndozokavwachi nemface akasina Maria transport apa ifunga kuti kokana room is no better and stuff like that. Achitorambidza mface ubuda tikanosoda ndibude chichichi ndipe phone. The guy touched her phone, and then vamaonekwa mune 2 other chats dzaungakomana yeurutonditra hasha dzekwaningireni dzekwagulezi wotone vanhu vari kuita nawo chichi. And then he left. Hands akazodzoka after 3 hours, and then when he came back after 3 hours, and akatiita like 2 hours achitomonyingira gulezi pafone zvekutodaro. Then he came back, and then obva watongorara mangwana acho obva anonomusiya pamabhazi abva amupa $80 zvikanzi transport nechikafu and stuff like that. So yeah, and you and I tinogumira panapa, like we done. And Vimba is like, okay, cool. Then mfeso bhaye, and then obvazotanga munyingira like, face I out, I'm really sorry, Gigi. And then the guy's like, listen, if you still want Nezhang, ramba ma face aya. And then Anzi Vanambotura just a few minutes, Vandera say Vandeno no ramba ma face aya. kunoramba mafesa aya. And then she's like, yeah, ndavaramba ndadzoka. And the guy's like, you're lying. Apparently, Big Mike had hacked Yimbai's phone, okay? So he was seeing the chats. He's like, no, mboni. Ad break, ad break. Do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Watch my videos from the Tanata Marimira. I'll greatly appreciate it. And one thing I've noticed, people are not liking my videos. Can you please like my videos so that the views and likes can at least be handy me, and not like the same, but make a sense. 1,000 views and 100 likes just doesn't make sense. So please guys, just make it a habit when you go on YouTube, like before you even watch. I would honestly appreciate it, guys. I'm just appealing to you. I'm your African girl. Support me, okay? Thank you. Let's continue. Oh no, Aramba, I can see what you're doing because I got clone phone here. I can see what you're doing. You are busy bragging to your friends about $80 and Akuba. It's just that you were out of pocket. If you were in the pocket, not out of pocket, I would have given you 120 because $80 is nothing. But because of what you did, and you know, she tried kumnyingera, and Big Mike was just not with it. He was like, you know what, we done. So they broke up, I think, for like 2 years, and then Dovazo Zokirana. Now Mukuzozokirana Bonana, and then you know they got intimate, and she later suspected Kuti she's prego, and she's telling Big Mike Kuti, bro, I think I'm prego, and he's like, oh, okay, so uchaita se Saga uchaita se nozive mashoko anorwadza kana uri uda kuexpect wombopiwa mari nemunhu kana kuti pane munhu uri ungodzawo something kuti aitawo something whatever it is, and then munobva kuzoti saka uchaita sei. Munoziva zvorwadza sei hanzi the pain kubuhlungu like zvakapinda nepakati kudai so pakati pamoyo pakadzama kudai so kuti Big Mike, how could you say that? Hanzi vandatongoti it's fine. So at that time Big Mike was saying he's in Mozambique. So apana uzomboita time, there was a time that she woke up there was a time yakazombomuka ane pain imenge, itori excruciating pain imenge, and then varashwa to the hospital vapetkoma scans and whatnot. That's when they realized kuti, oh baby girl, you is prego. The scans showed that girl was pregnant, ectopic pregnancy, the one uterus fallopian tube. So that one is usually extracted because you know and stuff like that, and her head had actually ruptured and stuff like that, so it was too complicated. And then ovatuzongomuka rutongonari mtheater rutorowachi surgery chichichichi, and then after the surgery, you know, okay, now at this point the family knew kuti mwanani numbe and stuff like that because vaimanyamanya neta sei, but she says hapana hanaombobvira ndabvunzawo numbu ndeyani because I was in a critical condition and people were more concerned about my life compared to zvekuti wakazoitiswa numbu nani chichichi. She did not say ake kuti kumberi akazovhunzwero or whatnot, but at that particular time the family did not ask her. So you know, she's telling Big Mike kuti ndozvikuitika, and Big Mike is like, well, there's nothing I can do about it because I'm actually in Mozambique, but you know what, be well girl. The lighting is now bad kwa Shiba, but listen, I just want to tell the story because Auntie DJ Mangwana, you know, mood, so I'm really sorry about the lighting. But anyway, I got her 4 days at the hospital, and then day age 5 she was discharged. When she was discharged, that's when the guy got in contact like, hey, I'm back. Say operation. He's like, oh, sorry about that. Listen, yeah, I'm really sorry about it. But anyway, $200 ends up and sent her $200. He said, oh, that's for my upkeep and to cover up some of the bills. But he said, listen, at the end of the day, wangos no tora like my MA pills, and she's like nandaka tora, and he's like, okay, anyway. But you know what, at the end of the day, I just feel like it's a blessing kuti it happened this way. I know because I was not gonna marry you. Like you and I cannot get married at all. So you know, I'm glad this happened. It's a blessing in disguise. So how could you say that? But anyway, that's what he said. Remember what I had said about the job, chemical engineering, the wife anze angakatombondudza kuti apparently this guy is not a chemical engineer, he's actually a driver kubasa kwatoshanda. But Bimbai says akambostock my girl at some point, and she realized kuti vanoshanda kunosonwa yembe. So I'm really trying to think kuti ndi driver but chi. So I just feel like maybe she was lying, but I personally believe she had no reason to lie. She was just laying it on the table. But listen, that's a story for another day. So anyway, that's how it ended up ending. Nah, Big Mike, that was it. He was like, listen, there's your money, but me and you, I can never marry you. And she was heartbroken, and then she left the guy. So her moral of the story was, these red flags musama ignore, because I ignored when this woman approached me telling me this, and I believe I'm face I should have done action papo, you know, that action. But Big Mike was getting the best of both worlds. He never ever admitted Gutim Kazwaki, but now that she's a bit grown, she can tell Gutim Big Mike was lying. So they separated in 2023, right? Waka breaker a pepe and all blues pepe. vaka breaker up. That was in 2023. Big Mike vakazodzoka 2025 apa angambomughosta for 2 years of vazodzoka, and she was like apa mna ngamboenda nanda kuzvibvunza kuti naimi sando zvandadzokera here chichichi, and stuff like that. But her moral of the story as well is siyana ino arume vanhu, right? And for me though, I'll say the moral of the story is kwamunoenda potai muchibuda mune mari. Ani makaona pepe kublues anga kuchika kuti munhu akazondisiya ndisina mari yebhazi. Nandatokanganwa kuziva kuti she actually tried to look for vanhu anoziva vari mublues kuti if it goes left at least ndinenge tine vanhu around and stuff like that. And that's like the worst position you can be in as a person. I feel like one of the worst positions you can be in as a person is in a position you don't have money. That's like one of the worst. So whatever you do, just make sure wherever you go and stuff like that, you carry cash or you just have money in your account. You can do those snap codes and cash out, at least just have money. That's all I'm just gonna say. But yeah, as well, just siyana ine vanhu vanu, guys. Siyana ine vanhu vanu, because you know what, some people are not willing to just let go of an avo just like that. I don't know if some of you know, but I think around December there was a lady in South Africa, akatumira ka 20 or 21-year-old, I don't remember. If some of you remember the story, most of you in my comments. She sent her 21-year-old tsamba akatonyoronzi, leave my husband alone. And mutsamba imo mantinenge akapetwa mamune bullet rarimo, and I think she just took it for granted or whatever. But 5 days later akauraiwa nepfuti, and people are suspecting kuti bullet rinogona rarichi related kuchi pfuti yakatomuraya inogona ingeri yeparty yenenge bullet. You know what I'm trying to say? So kune vamwe vanhu vekuti they are not willing to go. Havasi vanhu vanenge vari masalad, like anatani, not everyone is a saladi, not everyone has options, not everyone has financial backbone yekuti they can do it alone and stuff like that. So listen, be careful pamnendo vanhu, because vamwe vanhu vanotozoroyiwa. Anditi anti makaona yaya akatozoroyiwa zvekuti angaungogara akangobuda chichichi. And I have an update. And that one, muchiroziya the missing Brooker story. Okay, so munhu wedu ndakampa zita ripi, but muruziya nyaya ndutara anti the missing Brooker. She called me on Friday. She said, Tani, I gathered the courage and I spoke to Gulez and I told her Gutindini. I confessed, and she said, okay, I'll start watanga ku murmur. I'm not even going to forgive you, because I understand them akanorara kuhotera kulodge jijiji, but mumba mangu bedroom mangu ndipfeka gown rangu and whatnot. I'm not forgiving you for that one. So yeah, that's the update. So she said vedweka siya vanhu vevana anditka. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoy your Easter. Today is Easter Saturday. I know tomorrow I'll be busy. I'll be with family. Okay, I'm going to see my auntie. I'll be with family, so I know tomorrow I'll be unable to do a video. So yeah, don't forget, he's waking up tomorrow, and Jesu ndiye ega mna akafa kamuka. Iwewo ukafa tinokuviga ugofa kuti fi. Saka zvenyu zvekurarama unge 10 lives and whatnot, sit down and behave. I love you guys. Bye. Mwah.